It may have been a revolutionary car for its time, but by its final production year in 1985, the Chevrolet Citation had garnered such a horrible reputation that General Motors ended up canceling its production. Where did it go wrong? How did sales decline so rapidly since the vehicle was first introduced for 1980? What made the Citation, the quote-unquote first Chevy of the 80s, so successful in sales in the beginning? I'll explain it all in this video. It may have been a rather unremarkable car, but the Citation still has a certain loyal fan base to this day. This presentation is for anyone interested in learning more about this X-body vehicle that was available in 3 different styles. So, sit back, grab a snack, and enjoy. So, why have I decided to pick on this unreliable car from the so-called Malaise era? For one thing, the Chevrolet Citation, along with the Buick Skylark, the Pontiac Phoenix, and Oldsmobile Omega, all share one thing in common. They have a strikingly similar chassis as the engineers of GM phased in the X-body platform in response to a growing demand for better fuel economy and practicality. After the energy crisis of 1973, GM manufacturers began to give their compact cars a complete makeover. The Chevrolet Nova would eventually be replaced by the Citation, and production would be situated in North Tarrytown, New York, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Ypsilanti, Michigan, and Ramos Arizpe, Mexico. Originally, the Nova's replacement would be named the Condor. However, just before production began in 1979, GM executives agreed to change the name to Citation. Okay, now I'd hate to sound sarcastically judgmental, but wouldn't you agree that Citation is a rather unusual name for a car? To me, it sounds like a name for a vehicle with the purpose of transporting someone to a court hearing. I mean, pardon the legal jargon, but it's like giving a citation of rights or a summons to court, or in this case, a quote-unquote citation to drive an eggshell-shaped car. By 1984, when Chevrolet redubbed it as the Citation II, it was as if this was the company's way to make up for all the mechanical failures of this car from previous years. Sure, when it was first released in 1980, the Citation was the best-selling vehicle in the United States with over 810,000 sales. But when they started to dip by half every year afterwards, to the point that only 63,000 units were sold in its final year of production in 1985, it became a quote-unquote citation to cancel the model altogether. The dangerous tendency for the rear brakes to lock under hard braking situations led it to spin out of control, resulting in dozens of serious injuries. There were many reports from customers encountering rust on the chassis only after 1 year of ownership, and problems over power steering could not be ignored either. When a mechanic was called upon to repair the engine, as soon as the hood was opened, it was as if he was staring into a cobweb made of countless wires crisscrossing over each other, leaving him too perplexed to consider his course of resolutions. Even the interior materials were cheap. I've seen videos of entire dashboards displaced after a Citation's lifespan expired. At this point, they've wound up in the junkyard. The engines were loud, and after watching an old professional review back in the day when the evaluator suspected the factory simply painted on the rust that was already beginning to form just after the cars rolled fresh off the assembly line, I do believe it. Transmissions were clunky and hard to shift. over 225,000 1980 models had to be recalled over a transmission hose related to underhood fires. The Chevrolet Citation would become subject to an unsuccessful lawsuit by the United States National Highway Traffic Safety Administration due to excessive safety concerns. The Chevrolet Citation was the first front-wheel drive car manufactured in the United States, and it was available as a 2-door notchback, a 3-door hatchback, and a 5-door hatchback. Its basic 2.5-liter engine was called the Iron Duke, and a V6 option was also available, which 70% of Citation owners chose. One of its key features was the transverse engine, where it was placed horizontally from the driver's point of view. This provided additional passenger room, allowing up to 5 adults to sit comfortably in the cabin interior. Chevrolet Citation buyers had the option of having their models equipped with 4-speed manual or 3-speed automatic transmission. For the 1982 model year, a fuel-injected 2.5-liter engine became available, and for 1983, the 2.8-liter V6 became an option on all models. Perhaps the one trim variation I come closest to admiring is the sporty Citation X11, manufactured every year in the X-Body's production run. It was a common race car in its day, offering additional excitement over the standard compact model. Boasting a high-output 2.8-liter V6 engine, sport-tuned suspension, and 14-inch wheels, the X11 was fun to drive on twisty roads. It had very much the same safety issues as its other counterparts, but at least it gave the Chevy Camaro Z28 and Monte Carlo something to compete against. But still, for me, there are far better options than this. Even a basic Chevette would be more desirable than something that tarnished the reputation of the General Motors brand. The 1980 Citation was so successful in sales that Motor Trend magazine designated it the car of the year. If the editors had the foresight to see the impending flaws of this vehicle, surely they would have given the award to another model. They were actually deceived by GM when they were lent specially modified X-body vehicles for testing, only to discover the fundamental problems later in regular manufactured cars. I think they eventually came to regret their choice and agreed that the Citation was an ultimate disaster. I'll never forget watching the commercial for the original 1980 Citation. That jingle will be stuck in my memory for the rest of my life. Chevy Citation. Okay, I guess that was in bad taste. Now, maybe I've been very harsh in my assessment of the Chevrolet Citation, but if you've ever owned or driven one, what are your thoughts? I'd love to read about them in the comments. I also understand this car still has a loyal fan base, as this video simply just communicates my own perspective. Some of you still get a thrill out of driving a Citation and take great pride in preserving your prized possession. So, this has been my synopsis of the Chevrolet Citation. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you want to enjoy more of my car videos, please click that subscribe button. I'm going to release more reviews in the future. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Be safe and kind to one another. And I'll see you in the next video. Godspeed.